Good evening and welcome in high atop the Lion's Den at Emporia High School. Tegan Terhune and my new broadcast colleague, Corey Mitchell,
Thank you,
joining me
Tegan.
here on the headset. Good to have you here with us, sir. Before we get into it too far, I want to say Corey is a new name to the broadcast, but he's known all around town. Of course, his wonderful wife, Karen Darty Mitchell, the president of Flint Hills Technical College, she had reached out to me and we talked a little bit, and I said, I'd love to get Corey on the headset. I know you are a soccer fanatic and somebody who is no stranger to working on the headset a little bit.
Yeah, we used to do a little bit of radio stuff, but I do really enjoy the international soccer. I really like that, the way the countries get behind their team and their squad and what it means and the global presence of it. I really enjoy that part of it, and it's just a fun sport because something's always happening.
Oh, absolutely. It's a nonstop action thrill ride. We have been working, having a little technical difficulties on the camera side, but we wanted to jump in and be able to get through some talking points here, as this is a historic night for Emporia FC, just their second year of existence. First playoff appearance after a one-win season last year, 6 wins on the season, riding a 6-game unbeaten streak here into the playoffs. And boy, Corey, you look at that kind of a stat sheet heading into a win-or-go-home scenario. That's got to fill your team with a lot of confidence.
That's right. You're hot. You're going through it, and you're just going to say, "Let's go play, roll it out there, and let's do this." And that's what's going on tonight. And good for them, because when you get hot, you feel confident, and that's what you want to do in any athletic event.
Absolutely.
So here we go.
Well, and an interesting point here, the first matchup on the playoffs is against a team Emporia FC defeated in the regular season 3-1. Now you're living rent-free in their head, essentially, right there. Can we beat them? Can we come back? You've got all the momentum riding on your side, but that can be a bit of a double-edged sword, too. I mean, you have to look at it from, you can't get too confident just because you beat them once.
What we saw from the last game for the Lions, we saw them play at times very fast, and they looked very good. If they do things like that tonight, I think they have a very good chance to walk out of here with a win and go on in the playoffs and get on through to the next round.
Well, and here's the important thing, too, is you mentioned that they were playing that fast style, but they were also playing very conservative when they needed to. That's the style that we become used to with them. But on Tuesday night, when they had a matchup, that was a bit of a different story. That was against Sporting Wichita SC, who they managed to draw a 1-1 tie with. They seemed a little out of sorts, and some people would argue the reason for that was they were missing a key piece of their midfield in Miguel Rivera. Miguel back into the lineup here tonight, one of our starting 11 for Emporia FC. But another point that we have to bring up here, sorry Miguel, the last time that they played Inter Wichita, Miguel received the only red card of the season.
Of the season. Never good to be that guy.
No, it's not. And, I was talking to him a little earlier this week, and the thing I had said to him was, is that playing in the back of your head? And, I mean, Corey, from your experience, I got to imagine that's always going to be in the back of your mind. These guys know how to get to you a little bit, and it's been proven.
When you get out there, when you're on the field, you don't really think about those things. You just go, and you're in the moment. You forget about everything else that's going on. You just play, and I'd like to believe that's what they're going to do tonight, and just go. Like I said, roll it out there. Let's see what happens. Let them go.
Well, it is win or go home. So, I mean, really, you have everything to gain, but what do you have to lose? I mean, you have to go out and give it everything you have, play every game like it's your last.
That's correct.
We're going to go ahead and jump into the starting lineups for both squads. We will start with the visiting Inter Wichita FC. They will be starting off with Guilherme Borges, Gail Gonzalez, Lorenzo Orlandi, Ian Wyndham, Juan Zamora, Jonathan Garcia, Evans Osai Amankwa, Emilio Gutierrez, Luis Hermida, Eduardo Morschel, and Grayson York. That is the starting 11 for the visiting Inter Wichita FC. And now for your Emporia FC Black Lions. In goal, the returning Luan Nascimento. We call him no for a big reason, and that is what he tells offenses every single game. Luan was out with an injury for the last 2 regular season games. He is excited to be back. We had him on the headset on Saturday night. You could see he was chomping at the bit to get back in there. And between Luan and David Ferraro, they have had, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, 5 clean sheets through the season thus far. That's a big confidence booster going in there as well. You know that you can play at the top level. You know that you can handle these teams, and you've already got a win over them. I got to think the Black Lions are going to be riding high with Nascimento back in goal here tonight. On defense, we have Felipe Candido, who has become somewhat of a sensation since coming here to Emporia. As you hear our friend Gabe Diaz-Serrano in the background getting the introductions underway. Joining Felipe on defense will be the one and only Caio Lobo. Lobo also joined by Bernardo Deberaldini. Then you look at the midfield. It's Miguel Rivera, Alexa Music, El Capitan, as he's become known, and Hishard Frites. For the forwards, Carlos Noboa Molina, no better than Noboa, as we like to say here at Emporia FC, as you hear the crowd here at the Lions Den excited for this playoff matchup. Also on forward, Alex Almeida, the leading goal scorer for Emporia FC with 5 on the season. And rounding it out will be Patrick Aludor, the Southern Islands native. We're going to go ahead and step aside for just a moment for the playing of the national anthem. We'll come right back, have some keys to victory, and get set for kickoff here from the Lions Den. You're watching Emporia FC Soccer, playoff soccer, here on the Emporia FC YouTube channel. And we welcome you back here high atop the Lions Den at Emporia High School for playoff soccer action here on the Emporia FC YouTube channel. Tegan Terhune joined by my special guest analyst, Corey Mitchell, as we are getting set for the very first playoff game in the history of Emporia FC, as they will be taking on Inner Wichita FC, as you can see them being introduced on the field right now. Well, before we jump into the action, we do have some key players we want to be keeping a close eye on here tonight. As always, want to go ahead and go through our players to watch. First and foremost, you have to keep a close eye on the man in the number 21. That's Alex Almeida. Almeida, the leading scorer for Emporia FC, 5 goals on the season, one of those coming in the matchup on Saturday against Sporting Wichita SC, or no, my apologies, against KC Legends. And really, when you've got a guy like that in Alex Almeida, who, as we've seen throughout the season, Corey, and I know you're still kind of getting to know this team a little bit, but you were here on Saturday night. You got to see him in action a little bit. He is fast, he's explosive, and has an amazing vision on that field, which really makes you a fine-tool player.
You really hit it on the head. The speed is unbelievable, and that's really important for him. And getting the ball in places that he can work it helps a whole lot for him to be able to finish and close that down, because he does have that knack as well, and finishing is very important in this game.
Yes, absolutely. Moving down the line here, we can't talk about players to watch without, of course, mentioning Carlos Noboa Molina, the man we say no better than. Noboa, we are still arguing, was not born. He was made in a laboratory. You'll never convince me otherwise. He is an explosive player. We were talking about the speed of Almeida. Let's talk about the speed of Noboa. He is so quick. He is so blindingly fast. He just seems to appear out of nowhere at a lot of times. And he set up the 2 goals on Saturday. He helped with the facilitation there. The second goal, he really just kind of appeared right in the corner, sent it across, got it into the back of the net there with Almeida. I mean, really, Noboa is the kind of guy that you want on your team, and he's the kind of guy you hate to play against.
100% correct, because he can go by you, he can go around you, he can get behind you, and he can flat out beat you because of speed.
Again, we say it, no better than Noboa. There's a reason for that. Still waiting on the t-shirt design for that one, but hopefully that'll happen by next season. You never know. Continuing down our lineup, we have to look at the defense here. We have to look at the one and only Caio Lobo. Lobo has been an absolute nightmare in the back line there for teams. Again, we talk about field awareness and presence. Kaio has such a great field of vision that he can see things happening from both sides of the ball, whether it's somebody coming down the left side or somebody waiting for it on the left, on the right, or on the opposite side. No, Kaio is so good at sensing the play coming and breaking it up before it can ever really get into motion.
He almost covers, you say this, he almost covers sideline to sideline.
Yeah.
Because he can just do that. He does that so well. He sees it before it happens. He's smarter than everyone else on the field.
Oh, absolutely. Don't tell him you said that, though, as we don't need another reason for Kaio to feel proud of himself. Only joking. Love you, Kaio. You're awesome. Now, one other key player I want to talk about, and I go back to the speed aspect. That is the native of Turks and Caicos. That is Patrick Aludor, who was not a part of the starting 11 at the start of the season, but he has become undeniable. Not only is Patrick blindingly fast, I still want to put him and Noboa on the 50 and see who gets to the end zone faster. Maybe we can do that at the end of the season, but Aludor is another one of those guys. He's incredibly quick. I mean, just puts so much effort into tracking down that ball, but he's also one of the most physical players you will ever see. He may not always do it at the right time, Corey, but again, you got a guy that's incredibly quick and incredibly aggressive. That's a great teammate to have on there, especially on the wing.
The legs move really fast for him, and he can take a little contact, and he can still work through it, and that really does a lot of things for him. Once he figures out how to create a little bit more, it's going to be a fun game to watch for him, watching him play.
Absolutely. Well, and last but not least, we have to mention again the returning Luan Nascimento, who is back in goal after about a week and a half long stay on the injury list. Glad to see that Luan is back in there. He's been chomping at the bit, but Luan is another player that has just got such a great field of vision. He's also not afraid to get out there and mix it up a little bit if he has to. If he's got to come out and make a sliding save, or he has to come out and disrupt the offense before anybody else can get back, he's going to do it. I mean, really, I mentioned earlier, a fine tool player. He's definitely one of those as well, as he can play from just about every aspect, and my God, the leg on this kid.
It's remarkable. The other thing is he's built like a goalie. He stands next to the rest of the team. He's a head taller. He's just taller, longer, bigger, stronger. I mean, he's just built like a goalie should be to cover a lot of ground real fast.
I feel like when you look at the goalkeeper's situation, you know, you either have to pick speed or size. He's one of those rare guys that has both.
He really does. You're right. He's just a big dude, you know.
Yeah. And also, I should mention, it might hurt his cred a little bit, but he's also a big sweetheart. I mean, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet is Luan. Incredibly talented, but incredibly humble as well. As we are getting set for kickoff here from the Lions Den on the campus of Emporia High School, and Emporia FC, the Black Lions, getting set for their very first taste of playoff action in club history, taking on Inner Wichita FC. And it looks like, my goodness, Gabe Diaz-Serrano carrying all the way across town right there. I'm pretty sure they heard him on the freeway. He's got one heck of a voice right there. As a good crowd here tonight to cheer on the Black Lions. They must have heard it was postseason
playoff, man, playoffs.
And we are underway as Inner Wichita kicks it off. Juan Zamora sends it into the back line, and now see what Inner Wichita can do here, as they don't seem to be in much of a hurry to start things off. Lorenzo Orlandi working it around now on the toe of Edverdo Morschel. And right now, Inner Wichita, very similar to Emporia FC's tiki-taka style. They're just passing it around, trying to wait for something to open up in the midfield there, Corey.
Yeah, they're just kind of sitting back right now and looking for a little crack in that defense.
Well, you'll have a better time finding a crack in a flawless gym than you will in this Emporia FC midfield. It's not easy to get through it. And even if you do, it's not easy to stay in front of it.
And you mentioned it earlier. You said all the clean sheets they've had this year.
Yeah.
That's part of it, the defense right here.
Noboa knocks down the pass. He sends it up. Almeida now trying to track it down. He's into a foot race, trying to work it around. He gets held and thrown to the ground, and we will get a whistle there. The guilty party was Eduardo Morschel. Just absolutely bodied Almeida to the ground. I mean, wow. I'm
pulled him right down.
Surprised that wasn't more than just a free kick awarded.
Maybe they'll let him play tonight a little bit.
Not if they're going to let him play like that, I'll be honest. That might be a little too much, as Patrick Aludor sets up for the free kick here. It'll be from about 11 yards out. Sends it right towards the goal. Noboa gets a touch on it, but can't put it in. And the first good look at the goal goes to Emporia FC. Unfortunately, it won't go down as a goal.
It's a pretty good set piece, though. I mean, for the first time they've really had the ball in that end.
Yeah.
That's a really good set piece to get it going.
Well, we talked about the confidence boost
Yeah,
that
right.
you might have just by having a win over a team. Well, you've already put them in a dangerous scenario right there, Corey. You're already playing some mind games just by taking your opportunities. Inner Wichita now back in possession. Sending it right side was Orlandi. He gets it right back now. Sends a bit of a long ball across midfield. Two bodies stacked up. Now off the foot of Juan Zamora. Zamora almost loses it at midfield. Gets it over to Marshall. Marshall now pushing it up towards the Emporia FC zone. They were into Black Lions territory for a moment. Kick it back up towards midfield. Now a long ball is sent to the left side. Goes off the toe of Evans Osai Amankwa. And to anybody from Inner Wichita that might be watching, if I'm not pronouncing the names 100% correctly, my apologies. It didn't come with a pronunciation guide. I'm doing the best I can. As the sun still high in the sky here, making things a little difficult as we get a trip up on Alador right in front of the Emporia FC bench, out of bounds. It'll be a throw in here for the Black Lions. And, well, we're only just over 3 minutes into this contest, and already it's proving it's going to be very physical.
Boy, it sure looks that way right now. A couple people already on the ground, and he's just not getting up as quickly as you'd like to see after something like that.
Absolutely. Alador taking some time there. He finally gets to his feet. A little conversation there, I think, with head coach Victor Ibarra. Again, Alador, he's been a great addition to this roster here, especially through the late half of the season. He's got one goal in the season that came in a stoppage time matchup earlier in the year that gave Emporia FC the victory. Worth noting, he did get a yellow card for that because he celebrated a little too hard. Got to keep the shirt on, Patrick. I mean, hey, I know he works out. It's impressive, but got to keep the shirt on. Miguel Rivera now has it deep in the Black Lions' own territory. Sends it back to Felipe Candido. Candido now going to try and push it up. Sends a long ball across midfield. Alador back to try and receive it. Went for the header, and he collided, it looked like. Believe that's Eduardo Marshall. My apologies, the sunlight making it a little difficult. I'm being corrected. It's Jonathan Garcia. Thank you to Corey Mitchell for catching that one there. This is why I like having a color commentator, because I have somebody to correct me when I make the mistakes there.
Let's see a little push right here.
Noboa trying to do it. He gives it to Fritas. Fritas back to Noboa now. Noboa getting collapsed upon. Sends it up to Alador on the left wing. Alador, fancy dribbling, gets into the box, and then it's taken away there, stopped by Inner Wichita.
It's really hard when they have four guys falling back like that in the box, and he was trying to get maybe a little too cute, but still a good little push forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Candido has it towards midfield. He sends it back up to Rivera. Rivera, long ball, goes to Almeida off his knee. He sends it up and he gets collided with, and a loud exclamation there from Lorenzo Orlandi as he collided with Almeida. And Almeida giving him a little reassurance as we have a conversation between the two. Little fist bump there, nothing further.
Everybody's happy, and we're moving on.
Absolutely. No further evidence needed there, Your Honor. Approaching the 6-minute mark of the first half of this playoff game between your Emporia FC Black Lions and Inner Wichita.
I like how Emporia's kind of pushing on them a little bit when they have that ball deep like that.
Got to keep the pressure up as best you can. Luis.
Oh, that's going to.
Yeah. Luis Armida was heading it away, and we got another little collision there between a Black Lion and a Wichita player. It leads to a short free kick there for Wichita. Now they're just working it around the midfield, starting to push back a little bit more. Again, just trying to be patient, it looks like. Very much a reflection of Emporia's favored tiki-taka style. Again, just pass it around, wait for something to open, and then press.
And you see Emporia, they're sitting back and they're just kind of packing it all in to be able to defend against that type of offense. They know what they're doing.
Sometimes when you're playing against a patient team, you got to be patient yourself. Candido was trying to field it. He gets collapsed on top of, and now another Black Lions player, that being Almeida, gets pushed off the ball. And Inter Wichita back on the attack. Noboa trying to keep pace there with Gutierrez, and we get a whistle against Emporia FC. It's a yellow card.
To me, that one probably wasn't a card compared to some of the others that we've seen earlier in this game. But
absolutely. I mean, we're a little biased, but still.
Of course.
I believe they're giving the yellow there to Kyle Lobo. So Lobo's going to have to be careful here. Don't want to risk being too aggressive and ending up with a red card, as a dangerous free kick opportunity now awarded here to Inter Wichita. We'll see what they'll do. It's almost the exact same positioning as Emporia's previous one, this one from about 13 yards.
Yeah, this is one of those areas. This is one of those spots on the field that can, for the offense.
Going to try and curve it towards the Juan Nascimento right there, ready to field it, and he does. Throws it right back out. Alexa Music kick sends it left side to Noboa. Noboa, a little bit of a stutter there, sends in the long ball, and that's going to be easily fielded by the keeper for Inter Wichita. He'll send it back the other way. And a very rare sort of hesitation there out of Carlos Noboa. Not used to seeing him really think twice about those kinds of things.
Just kind of hesitated, second guess, didn't like it, slowed everything down. That's it.
Noboa has it again at midfield. Another long ball, trying to find it to Alador, but he was amongst a sea of white jerseys. Freitas has it now. Another long ball, this one to Alador. Alador trying to fight the keeper, and they collide. No whistle from the official. That's not going to make him very popular here in the Lions' Den, that is for sure. As Alador took another solid hit, but he pops right back up to his feet. Doesn't appear to be in too much pain. That's a good sign.
And he actually made the first touch. The keeper actually did a good job coming out when he did to kind of settle that down.
You know what side you're on, right?
I do.
No, you make a very fair point there. Almeida now trying to track down the free ball. It's taken back by Inter Wichita. Right into the corner. It goes off of the foot. I believe that is Ian Wyndham. Again, apologies if I'm not correctly pronouncing that name, but I had 5 minutes, man. Inter Wichita regains possession from Noboa, steps out of bounds, does Ose Amankwa. And then a collision between Hishad Freitas and Luis Hermida sends Hermida tumbling toes over ears. Free kick awarded to Wichita. It's a long ball right off the left side of the box for Emporia. With it now is Zamora. Zamora tried to cross it. Nobody there immediately. Picking it up is Grayson York. York loses possession as it goes out of bounds. I believe they're going to say it's a throw in here for Inter Wichita. And suddenly, we've gone from a very defensive, patient style of game to a very fast-paced game, with Wichita really ramping up the offensive intensity here in the last few seconds. Now, Patrick Alador looks like he's going to try and take it coast to coast, showing that speed right there. He's in a foot race, has one man to beat. He gets tripped up with a slide tackle.
That's the speed we were talking about right there. He blew by two guys with the ball on his foot. I mean, it's very fun to watch him go.
Oh, absolutely. He got tripped up, and Alador having a conversation with the official. I'm not quite sure what's being said. The official gesturing very emphatically. Regardless, it's going to be a corner kick here for Emporia FC. I think what he's saying is that the ball was last touched by Inter Wichita when it went out, but they're not going to award any kind of free kick or foul for Alador getting tripped up. Rafa Suarez sends it into the box. Oh. Header opportunity, just a little wide. Music kick going to track it down.
A really good ball right there.
And they're saying last touch by Wichita. Great job by Musikic, El Capitan as he's become known. Wearing that armband there for Emporia FC, and good job from him to box out the defender.
Smart. Yeah. Get another shot at it. These set pieces so far, the penalty, the free kick that we saw and that corner kick we saw have been very good. They maybe didn't end in a goal, but they've been good setups. Keep it going.
Well, the law of averages, one's got to fall through at some point if you keep putting high-pressure shots on there. As Rafa Suarez sends another high ball in. Freitas right there. That one just a bit short to reach the net. But Richard Freitas came out of nowhere. He was just amongst a swarm of players. He managed to pop up and get a good header on the ball, just not the result he was hoping for there.
Yeah, it was for what he did and where in the position he was in with the way that ball was a little higher than more on the line. He just still did a good job getting it on goal.
I think Emilio Gutierrez might have gotten away with a handball as he got tangled up a little bit, but we'll let that one go. Ball gets sent back in deep to the FC zone, headed away by Candido, now off the foot of Freitas. Freitas sends it to Rafa Suarez. Suarez going to send it back to the goal to Luan Nascimento, and he'll just boot it right towards midfield.
Boy, that really looked like he was hanging on to him there.
Yeah, I don't know if that was necessarily legal, but referee not saying anything about it. We'll just let that one go too. Ball crossed again towards the goal. Nice coming out once again. There he is, folks. No, Nascimento. Luan Nascimento flying in to make the catch.
Taking charge of that box. It's a good job.
Yeah. You want to charge that box at your own expense. We cannot be held responsible for what might happen. Luan Nascimento's not going to let you just walk into his territory. Good patient build-up here for Emporia FC, trying to get it across midfield now. It's on the foot of Freitas again on the far side. Freitas has it poked away, and I think they're going to say it went off of Freitas' shin. Yep, as Wichita gets the throw in from right near midfield. They throw it to the back line. Back to the keeper, now worked left side to Lorenzo Orlandi. Orlandi taking a cautious approach, but he better hurry. He's got two Black Lions swarming in on him. Deberaldini sends it back the other way. Noboa knocks down another pass. Noboa, another bit of a hesitation out of Noboa.
Yeah, maybe a little out of rhythm tonight.
I can't say I've ever really seen Carlos
second guess himself.
Yeah, it looks like he's done it twice now. Finally, we get a whistle here against Inner Wichita. This one, the guilty party will be Evans Osei Amankwa. Emporia FC gets it back. Rafa Suarez has it on the far line.
That's a good ball right there to get it moving, get him pushing forward.
Yeah, absolutely. One great thing about Rafa, too, is he's a great switcher. I mean, he is able to feed that ball just about anywhere he wants. There's a reason why he's the corner man. Back up the middle again. There was nobody in black there to receive it. I think Alexa Musikic was trying to say he was being held, or one of his teammates was being obstructed.
There was definitely some body parts tangled up.
Absolutely. But again, we're just here to tell you what's going on. Wichita keeper with it once again. He'll send it to the moon right off the forehead of Osei Amankwa. It'll result in a throw in here for Emporia FC, and Noboa is going to go ahead and let Deberaldini handle those honors. Deberaldini looking for an open man, easier said than done. He's got Rivera towards midfield. He goes to Noboa right in between two Wichita players. Back to Rivera, now to Noboa again. Noboa, fast feet, starting to pick up some speed here. The Colombian getting tangled up a little bit. He's getting held and pushed, and Noboa looks a little frustrated.
He should be. He's they're really trying to contain him a lot tonight.
Osei Amankwa goes off the back of Almeida. Almeida sends it over to Noboa. Noboa going to try and cross it over to Rivera. Rivera, long shot. That one off the field goal post.
He let her rip. Got a little behind it, a little under it, but he let her rip.
Well, Miguel, I don't think that soccer is going to be a real issue for you, but if it doesn't work out, we'd be happy to have you at Emporia State on the kicking squad. That is for sure. What a leg that guy has. Again, a phenomenal turnout here for tonight's postseason matchup between your Emporia FC Black Lions and Inner Wichita FC.
Home games in the playoffs are always fun, aren't they?
Nothing like it. Nothing like it. Again, Tegan Terhune joined by Corey Mitchell on the headset tonight. Thank you to Corey coming in for us here this evening. Gotten to know Corey and his wonderful wife, again, FHTC President Dr. Karen Darty Mitchell, over the years, and glad that we finally get to have this experience together. We've got to experience a lot of other things, whether it's fundraisers or events or community activities. Now, getting to be on the headset. Love it.
Always lots of things to do here, right?
There's no shortage of activities. Anyone that tells you otherwise is just very unimaginative. As ball will go out of play, they're going to say it was last touch by Inner Wichita. So a throw in for Emporia FC from deep in their own zone. It goes to Frites. Frites. Again, look there at Oswai Amankwa for Inner Wichita. He keeps, every time that a player turns his back, he starts to hop up almost as if he's trying to get a piggyback ride out of him. He's done it multiple times here tonight. I'm not sure if that's just part of getting in someone's head or his offensive strategy, but at some point you got to think that's got to garner some attention from the official. Inner Wichita settling back in here at midfield. Ball on the foot of Luis Hermida.
They're just kind of sitting still, sitting back. That D is really socked in for the Lions.
I think we're in for, the way it's looking, a potentially low-scoring affair here.
Oh.
As it went right off the toe of Deborah Aldini, who was trying to get in there and disrupt it, and he did, just not the way he wanted to, as it results in a throw-in here for Gutierrez of Wichita.
But that's the kind of opportunities, though, that Emporia can get out of this and make it and get some maybe one-on-one, two-on-one scenarios to try to break away and maybe pop a quick little goal somewhere, like what's happening right now.
Noboa sends it to Aludor. Aludor, ball just a little ways ahead of him. He crosses it, and it's cut off by Orlandi, but a great pressure there by Emporia FC. They keep breaking through and finding opportunities. Corey, you might as well just take my job right there. You were calling it before it even happened. You're like the Noboa of commentators right now, 2 steps ahead of the play.
But those are the type of things that if Emporia has that opportunity, they take that, they get those situations. That can turn into good things real quick.
Absolutely. Well, and it seems as though they're more willing to go ahead once they get through that midfield. They're more willing to turn the Jets on a little bit than Inner Wichita. They seem to be very cautious and very conservative, but they're not being non-conservative when they need to be. Emporia FC, a completely different story.
That's right. They're not afraid. They're not afraid to go for it when that opportunity's there.
Aludor gets knocked to the floor again. This time he's grabbing at that left leg. It's the same one he was down for a good few seconds early on in this matchup. And I'm just saying, if Aludor's leg gets hurt, that's a big blow to Emporia FC. He's still gesturing to it pretty significantly as we're over the 20-minute mark of play here. 25 minutes of regulation remaining in the first half, still scoreless in this postseason first-round matchup between your Emporia FC Black Lions and Inner Wichita. Miguel Rivera will take the free kick. He's got a wall in front of him. Some teammates to his side. Another line drive shot. That one's into the timber. Have fun trying to dig that one out, kids.
That felt a little wasted opportunity right there. They maybe could have been a little more creative in something like that when you get a free kick. It's a tough zone. Being about 30 yards out is always tough. Kind of in between. But
I see your point.
Take those chances when you get them. You got to capitalize on it. They haven't had a lot of great looks.
I see your point there, and I think what you're saying mainly is just when it comes to those, we've seen them get a little creative. We saw the free kick earlier. Noboa nearly comes in and taps it in, and we've seen the corner opportunities. That one just seemed like he was just trying to kind of force it home a little bit. I can't disagree with you there. Nascimento, another scoop up here for Emporia FC. He'll roll it out to Caio Lobo. Lobo with a yellow card on the night so far. He sends it to Suarez. Suarez trying to get it through the midfield. It goes off the foot of Frites. Frites works it back to Candido. Candido has to be careful here. Needs to clear it out, and He was in a dangerous 2-on-1 situation, and he didn't even realize it. He saw the man to his left, didn't see the man to his right, but thankfully the man on his right
had him covered.
yeah, didn't manage to get anything off his foot except pushing it out of bounds. The goal kick comes from Nascimento. He'll just send it to Candido. Now up to Noboa. Noboa gets pushed back into his own zone there, quite literally.
Nice move.
Splits two defenders, and it's taken away here. Noboa trying to take it right back. Noboa. Oh, boy. Noboa picks up a yellow card, and I hate to say it, you can't really defend it. And he clearly grabbed onto the jersey.
A cheap one to get.
That's a cheap one,
He earned
yeah.
it, but a cheap one to get.
Yeah, especially so early in this contest. Now Emporia FC, 2 yellow cards already, and they're two very important players, that being Kyle Lobo on the back line, and now Carlos Noboa on the front.
I still hope they remain aggressive throughout the game, even with those cards hanging over them.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a way to be aggressive without being dangerous, that's for sure. Alex Almeida now into a foot race. Almeida, he's got an opportunity. He's on a breakaway, the leading scorer. He's looking for an open man. Fires it too high. Just a slight hesitation. He was looking to see what other options he had, and granted, he had the time to do so, Corey, but maybe just a quicker little shot. He wouldn't have had to roof it as high.
The first thing is he blew away the defender. He got past him.
Oh, gosh,
the
yeah.
speed took over. Nobody else was there. He actually did a good job for what he had. Shot a little high.
Law of averages, though, so far.
Yes, that's right. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep grinding.
The only real promising looks at the goal so far have come from the boys in black in Emporia FC. And like we said, the law of averages, at some point, one's got to squeak through. If the Black Lions have proven anything, it's that no goalkeeper is as solid as they think. They have really put it to some great men in net here over the season.
And these forwards of Emporia can beat the defense with their speed. They can get over top of them.
They've proven that a few times.
A couple
here.
of times. We've seen that a lot in these first 25 minutes.
Candido heads it away. It's shot towards
Oh
the goal.
Goodness.
My goodness. Oh, my goodness. Inner Wichita just sent a Hail Mary shot from midfield, and Nascimento just could not get to it.
He kind of got caught in between. He wasn't on the line. He wasn't far enough ahead, and that was just a well-struck ball, period.
Juan Zamora scores the goal against Emporia FC. Again, that one just coming from out of nowhere at midfield. That's just one of those shots. You're really just trying to clear it, and I think that's what Luan maybe was anticipating. He just didn't expect it maybe to go as high and as fast as it was. Just mistimed it a little bit there, but nonetheless, we're back into action here almost at the 25-minute mark of this first half.
Just a well-struck ball.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, I mentioned law of averages. Unfortunately, it worked the other way for us. Deborah Aldini had the ball in front of him. He just couldn't catch up to it. He's getting a little bit of a talking to from his teammate in Alador. And I mentioned Patrick Alador. He is a very intense player, and he's going to hold you accountable.
He's vocal.
He's very vocal. I love that about Patrick. I can't lie. Still, one of those guys I'd rather be playing for us than against us. Lobo sends a towering kick up across midfield. Noboa has it on his toes now. Sends it up the way. Almeida trying to track it down, and keeper just gets right in front of it. Almeida has to pull off.
I like that push, though. I like that. Let the speed take over and roll with it. I mean, I like when they do those kind of things. It's good for Emporia to do that.
Well, we saw this past Tuesday when they were playing Sporting Wichita. Sporting Wichita did a good job of disrupting the tiki-taka style, that short passing for Emporia FC. They had to start utilizing the long ball. Shot on goal from the left wing by Musikic is scooped up by the keeper. Another good look there for Emporia FC, just not going through. But they had to start relying on that long ball, and that's what made the difference. Was they started putting those long balls to work, and they managed to come away with the tie. Got to think they might try and use that a little bit more. It's been beneficial here so far, as it's given them some good opportunities. Back in another dangerous position.
Oh,
Nascimento comes out of goal. He's out of position. Back in possession is Wichita. Great defense here by Emporia FC, allowing Nascimento to get back into his net. That could have been disastrous.
especially inside that penalty area like that. They had 3 or 4 white jerseys down there. Wasn't a good scene.
No, but good job by Emporia FC's defenders to get back and get right in front of the action. Throw in here for Inner Wichita off to the right side of the box. Emporia trying to work that ball free, and we go back up towards midfield again. Inner Wichita, at this point, they're just playing a strategic game of keep away, waiting for something to open. Emporia not drifting back nearly as much as they were earlier. Still a lot of bodies back, but they're starting to get a little more aggressive coming up the front, it looks like, Corey.
They kind of are. It seemed like we saw like 7, 8 jerseys back there to begin with, and now they're spreading out. They're not packing it in.
Freitas gets shoved into the ball by Oswe Omankwa, and it'll be a throw-in, or no, sorry, a free kick here for Emporia FC. Bernardo Deberaldini will handle the duty there. Said duty, sorry. I'm 31 years old and I still can't laugh when I say that word. I can't help it. Alador now, right side, trying to beat one man. He gets tripped up, and we will get a whistle.
A little slow with that whistle, but it happened.
Yeah. Little show of sportsmanship between the two, as the guilty party there was Lorenzo Orlandi. And
this is another one of those in between spots, but maybe they can dial something up here.
A lot of black jerseys still back.
A lot of black jerseys getting ready to go, take off and streak for that box.
I see Kyle Lobo. He's starting to push in there a little bit. See what Lobo tries to do. As Lobo, again, great force in the back. As Freitas sends a line drive shot to Candido. Candido trying to be fancy with the footwork there. Gets cut off by the defenders. Getting pushed towards the corner. Now trying to get the ball free, and it goes out of bounds. A lot of pressure there by Inner Wichita, and there just wasn't much Candido could do.
There really wasn't. He was kind of boxed in by a corner and two white jerseys.
Well, and you got to think right there, you give up the ball, they're going to take it back the other way. So I think you got to give Felipe credit. He did the only thing he could do, and that was get them an opportunity deep in their own zone rather than letting them have something closer up towards yours.
That's right, a controlled turnover versus bad situation.
Long ball goes into the Emporia zone. Couldn't catch up with it, could Juan Zamora. Zamora has the only goal in the contest thus far, scored in the 24th minute of play with a unbelievable midfield shot. Overhead throw in goes towards Alador. It's headed out of bounds by Emilio Gutierrez. Alador throws it in to Alex Almeida. Almeida up to midfield now to Freitas. Freitas trying to work it forward to Noboa. Noboa's got to beat a few defenders here, and he's staying right ahead of him. Deberaldini going in. Great cross there by Noboa, just too high from Musikic.
Creative little piece. The defense got a little head on that and skipped it on by, but that's a nice little look towards the goal.
Well, and it looks like it was last touch by Inner Wichita,
right.
So a corner opportunity again here for Emporia FC. Rafa Suarez. He is the corner man of corner men. Good service into the box, just over the heads, but Alador has it off his toe, fires a shot. That one just wide of the net. It looked like it was going in. Keeper had a chance to catch it, but luckily the side netting stopped it. That goal had just been about 2 inches wider.
I actually think it hit the outside of the post.
It did. Caught it right there on that outside netting. Again, 2 inches wider. We got a chance there. Alador fires a 20-yarder off his back foot, trying to catch the keeper by surprise. It didn't work as he just collapses on top of it. Over 31 minutes now played here in the first half. Emporia FC down 1-0 to Inner Wichita in this postseason matchup.
There it is.
As Noboa gets tripped up from behind, another late whistle, but the whistle came. Noboa, In hockey terms, what we would call that is a slew foot. They just come in and kick the legs right out from under you. And not trying to be that guy, but Inner Wichita has been very physical here tonight, and I'm not strictly speaking from a legal standpoint. Some of them have been maybe very questionable. But hey, you know what they'll say in the comments section. I'm biased. That is the joy of being hired by a specific team, is I don't have to be unbiased. Now, if we were working for a network, there'd be a few questions, but clear blue skies here over Emporia as the Black Lions still trying to get back into this one, trailing 1-0 to Inner Wichita in the team's very first ever postseason appearance. As Emporia has had some fantastic looks.
They really have tonight. They've done well on set pieces. They've used their speed. It's just a matter of finishing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually think with the sun going down, they need to take these last 10 or 15 minutes of game time here in the first half. Maybe that's something that could affect the goalie. So they need to take every opportunity they can these next few minutes. Try to get this thing leveled off before halftime.
Yeah, sometimes the elements are your best friend. As we did mention that sunlight is pretty strong. I left my sunglasses in the car as I was kind of speeding in here. Trying to... It's even obstructing me just a bit. Felipe Candido going to hand off the throw in here to Bernardo Deberaldini. To Miguel Rivera, now to Noboa. Noboa gets tangled up, and Noboa almost catching an elbow there to the head. He gets kind of trips up over his own feet as Rafa Suarez now has it, trying to get between two defenders. Slide tackle attempt. Now we have an opportunity. Alador, right side of the goal. Looking for something here. It gets stopped. It stays with Alador. Now he has 3 white jerseys on top of him. Ball getting pushed towards the boundary. It's kicked out of bounds by Inner Wichita. Deberaldini looking for the throw-in.
Nobody's moving.
Alador has it now off his chest. He crosses it to the opposite side. It's headed away by Inner Wichita. Zamora gets it for Wichita. It's worked back up to midfield to Kyle Lobo. Lobo goes to Rafa Suarez on the opposite side. He'll send it in, looking for Alador possibly, but it's kicked back away by Inner Wichita. So far, they're just trading passes around between the two teams as Music was trying to get around the defense of Eduardo Murchel. Couldn't do it. Ball crossed from right to left. And Inner Wichita, got to give them credit. They're doing a great job of switching that ball when they need to, trying to find the more empty field.
And it does. You mentioned it earlier, talking about how the defense looks like it's kind of getting a little loose and not as compact as it was before for Emporia.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they're getting broken apart a little bit, and that might play a little bit to the aggressiveness that Inner Wichita has shown. Emporia FC trying to trade it back as we get finally a whistle here against Inner Wichita. That's going to go against Luis Hermida, and a free kick coming here to Emporia FC. Patrick Alador, the native of Turks and Caicos, will go ahead and do the honors. Short kick just goes up to Rivera. Rivera dropping back now to Musikic. Musikic left side to Freitas. Freitas now. Little hesitation there. Goes to Candido on the back line. Candido sending it up to midfield. Back to Musikic to Freitas. Up the line. I think he was looking for either Rafa Suarez or Carlos Noboa, but neither one able to track it in.
Not a real good pass there. He just kind of floated it in between.
Time ticking away here in the first half. Less than 10 minutes remaining. as Emporia trails at 1-0 to Inner Wichita. So we see down there on the track, you might be able to see, is very own Teresa Ibarra, who is taking over the photography duties for our good friend Adrian Sanchez, who was unfortunately not able to be here this evening. Freitas, again, got into a little bit of a battle there, trying to maintain possession of the ball. He can't do it.
Both teams kind of seem a little flat here these last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's maybe a little heat getting to them, or it's just been the physical first half.
I think it might be a combination of both, though granted, the heat's starting to die down pretty good here over the last 30-plus minutes. As another opportunity on goal.
Oh.
This one from about 12 yards out, knocking it in, is Luis Hermida.
That was a defensive breakdown right there, though.
Can't argue that whatsoever.
When there's only one guy near the goal and he ends up with the ball and there's 3 black jerseys around him, that's just a defensive breakdown.
Well, and that's a very difficult shot to try and track because, I mean, it's not exactly what I call a PK position, but at the same time, it's still far enough that it can change trajectory as it's coming at you.
He was inside the box. I mean, shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Just the D kind of broke down. What we were talking about the spacing earlier and being compact and tight, it's just kind of fluttered a little bit.
Well, I'll give Emporia FC credit on the first goal. That one was just kind of a freak accident. That one, absolutely, Corey, can't argue. That was a little bit of miscommunication, a lot of breakdown there for Emporia FC. But what I love about our guys, they are resilient. They shake it off quickly. So let's see what they can do here as they get it back now. Freitas goes to Rivera. Rivera sends the long ball towards Alador. Alador, nice touch off the foot. Now into a foot race, trying to get it through. And, well, it's just another opportunity, unfortunately, that can't capitalize on. That one was all speed, but unfortunately just no time to pull up and really line the shot.
They got 7 minutes, 6-7 minutes here. They need to make something happen, try to get this, like stuff like this right here, these opportunities.
Freitas goes to Musikic. Musikic gets brought down. Up to Rivera now. Rivera to Noboa. Noboa with the fancy footwork. Noboa had 2 hands on him.
No call.
No call.
Here it is, a turnover, though, right here.
Musikic to Rivera. Back to Musikic. Wasn't expecting it, but still manages to get the pass off. Rivera. Right side to Aludor. Aludor now going to take his opportunity. He gets into the box, and the possession taken away by Inner Wichita, and a little bit of a collision and a sell job, I think, there by
tick,
Lorenzo
tick, tick
Orlandi.
On the clock is all we're worried about right now. Is
Pretty
all that
much.
Wichita's worried about right now.
Yeah, Orlandi, I think, was asking the official why no call. That was incidental contact at its best. It leads to a corner here for Emporia FC. Miguel Rivera will be the one taking it. See what Rivera can draw up here. Some men trying to get free now. Ball goes in off the foot of Freitas, and it's taken away by Inner Wichita. But a great look there for Freitas as we've now crossed the 40-minute mark.
Consistently seen that. Yeah, good looks on these set pieces, corner kicks. I mean, we've seen it. Now it's about finishing.
Yeah. Freitas trades headers with his teammates. Now De Berardini goes back to Freitas. Candido gets it. Went left side to Suarez. Now to Musikic. Back to Candido. See what he tries to do. He's sent the long ball in a few times here. He'll short kick it up top to Carlos Noboa. Noboa gets tangled up with Hermida. Hermida had the last goal at the 37-minute mark. Ball worked down the boundary line. Now Emporia FC, another opportunity here. It's another foot race. Firing the shot. Patrick Alador's got a bead on it. It doesn't go out. He keeps the ball in play. See what he can do. He'll cross it now. That one's just way too strong, and there's nobody back there for it. Unfortunately, a golden opportunity wasted right there for Emporia FC.
Yeah,
The
that
lead
pass
that,
just rolled across the face of that goal. That was just couldn't get on, somebody couldn't get on the other end of it, but that's a perfect type of setup.
yeah. Alex Almeida had to do a lot of work to get that one in there. Give credit to Almeida for, again, that speed and ferocity
Yep.
he's known for, being able to generate the opportunity. Unfortunately, just Inter Wichita, man, showing off their own speed right now as they just seem to be able to get right in front of that ball every chance. Music kick. Was trying to generate something there on the far boundary, but it gets kicked out of bounds right behind him. So we're coming up on minute number 42 of the first half. Rivera has it just shy of midfield. He'll skip it left side. Now worked back to Candido. Candido up the middle to Rivera. Rivera. Great feed down low to Alador. He's got to beat the keeper, and he can't do it. Keeper comes out. Got to give credit where it's due there. The keeper there for Inter Wichita has done a great job of just kind of making plays and coming out.
That ball's a little strong, but again, it's the right kind of ball. It gets them over the top where their speed can go, and it gives them, again, opportunities.
Just hasn't been able to beat the keeper yet, and that's a tricky position to be in too, Corey. When you're trying to get past the keeper, he lays out, he's coming out to attack. You know, if there's a collision, there's only one person that's really going to get blamed for it, if anybody, and that's usually going to be the offensive player. Almeida dribbles it through defenders. Wasn't able to get the full power behind the shot. I think if he was able to put a little bit more spin, a little bit more speed on that kick, it would have likely been in the back of the net. But the keeper there wasting some time. Smart move. Can't really argue with that one.
And he worked his way through 4 white jerseys to get there. I mean, to still create out of that.
Yeah. Again, it just goes to show Emporia, they've got the opportunities.
There it is.
Whoa, Freitas caught a full-blown elbow right to the face. Didn't look intentional there from Zamora, but still, it's going to result in a free kick for Emporia. Rafa Suarez works it up the middle. With it now is Music kick. El Capitan goes to Almeida. Almeida now trying to get around the white jerseys. He goes left side to Suarez. Suarez gets intercepted, but he still maintains possession, just trying to shake off Inter Wichita. Now they're starting to press with 2. And the ball gets forced out of bounds there off the foot of Miguel Rivera.
And you can really start to see Wichita sagging back on D. There's now 4 bodies on that back line. They're really starting to make it tough for Emporia to get through that.
Noboa.
Good ball.
Right side to Debraldini. Debraldini took a full shoulder check into the chest.
Probably could have blew a whistle on that one.
I think more than probable.
Really a lot of contact.
Yeah. That looked more like something that one of my old defensemen up in Wichita would have thrown in the middle of a hockey match. And now, coming over the back right there was Grayson York. That results in a free kick. A great opportunity here. Noboa now.
20 seconds to go.
See if there's much stoppage time. Shot
Great
on goal. Alador just a step behind.
That's a great cross. That's a great ball.
That was an incredible cross. It was not touched by anyone but Emporia. Unfortunately, one of those names was not Alador. 45 minutes over the mark now, of the 45 minutes, I should say. Waiting to hear what the stoppage time will be in this contest, that Emporia is trailing 1-0. Or sorry, 2-0, my apologies. I was trying to use positive thoughts. Minimum of 2 minutes of stoppage time, according to our man Gabe Diaz-Serrano down there at the scorer's table. Thank you, Gabe. So at least 47 minutes we played before we head to halftime. Still a 2-0 lead here for Inter Wichita. Freitas, long ball. Alador has a bead on it. He's got 2 men to beat, one being the keeper. Alador gets it 3 and
pushed it with his hand. They get the call right, but
yeah, not necessarily the side we wanted them to be correct on. As Alador can't worry about it, Patrick. Got to keep moving. Can't let it frustrate you. Candido, great job to intercept that long ball. Miguel Rivera got tangled up with Zamora, and no whistle will be blown. Feel like that might be tit for tat. Noboa was starting to drive forward. It gets kicked away.
Good job.
Coming
That's
in with the
great
slide
defense.
tackle is Rivera. Back to Noboa. Great cross to Alador. Alador a little hesitant.
There it is!
Scores! With love from Turks and Caicos, Patrick Alador puts Emporia FC on the board.
With the left foot right in the bottom corner with 15 seconds to go. Very important goal right there.
Yes.
Changes the whole complexion of the second half of this game.
Of course, attaboy, Aludor, and of course on the assist, no better than Noboa, Carlos Noboa Molina.
Blow that whistle.
Let's get to the half, and we will. A great way to end what was a frustrating first half here for Emporia FC. They get on the board. It's 2-1 now. Inter Wichita leading the Black Lions, so a better position to be in for sure. See what they can do to possibly get back into this one, draw even with the visitors from Wichita. But for right now, we will step aside, take a break, come back, compile our thoughts, and give you some insight before we head to the second half. You are listening to Emporia FC Soccer, or I should say, sorry, that's going back to my day job. You're watching Emporia FC Soccer right here on the Emporia FC YouTube channel. It's postseason action. Don't go away. We've got more coming at you.
up for me, okay? Mix it good. I know somebody's looking at you right now saying, all right, pick me, pick me. All right, we're going to alternate. First pick. All right. 5170634. Going once, going twice. Next. All right. Keep that one off to the side. 5170612. We have 5170612. I'll have a talk with you afterwards. We're going to draw again. For those of you that don't know, that's the former Leones goalkeeper, Juan Ibarra. So, all right. 5170610. All right, I think it honestly might be you at this point. So I'm going to go over here. All right, we have two winners, I'm hearing. All right. All right. We have two winners right there. Our final winner. Are you ready? All right. What do you got? 5170653. All right, we have our three winners. All righty, thank you so much for participating. And again, check Tacos Ibarra out. They keep our guys fed and happy as well as a lot of our community. So check Tacos Ibarra out. Thank you very much.
All right, back into it. All right. Ooh, nice save. Welcome back into the Lions Den. Emporia FC fans, the score at the half 2-1 in favor of the visitors from Inner Wichita. But Emporia FC, in the fading minutes of stoppage time there in the first half, got a special delivery all the way from Turks and Caicos in the former Patrick Aludor, who just beat the keeper. Been trying to do it the entire first half. Finally had the right look, got the right spin on it, put it right past him. And Corey, you mentioned they just needed to finish. They finished pretty effectively there, did Patrick Aludor.
Yeah, with about 20 seconds left in the half, they really sure did. And, you know, now that that's over, you're back within one. That's a manageable situation here. The first 5 or 10 minutes of this, they need to try to get the equalizer and then figure it out from there. But they can't be putting themselves and overextending themselves and pushing and pushing and pushing, and maybe something bad happens. Maybe it ties it up, but maybe something bad happens. They need to get that equalizer quick
Absolutely.
if they can, and then grind it out the rest of the way.
Well, you mentioned on that second goal that was scored by Luis Hermida in the 37th minute of play, that really was the result of just a defensive breakdown there from Emporia FC. I think they were pushing pretty hard towards the midfield, trying to push that offensive pressure forward. They maybe just neglected that back line a little bit. But if you're able to get that offensive pressure on them very early, you're able to put that ball in the back of the net, you mentioned it, then you can kind of get more relaxed back into your defensive set, and that's what the first 20 plus minutes of this matchup has been, was all defense. It was just stoppage after stoppage after stoppage after stoppage, and then that's when the scoring really started in a frenzy towards the later half. But if Emporia FC is able to get back into their defensive mindset, really get that back line more solidified like they had early on, I mean, you got to like their chances.
Yeah, that's right. And you said it. If they can get that equalizer and get this thing knotted up at 2, and then they're playing their game again instead of having to push and having to force things that maybe they wouldn't do otherwise,
Yeah.
that can turn things around going the other way. So they need to get that equalizer quick and then play their game, and they're fine. They'd be perfectly fine the rest of the half.
Now, a double-edged sword here we have to mention is you push all that offensive pressure up to the front, you are going to be lacking a little bit there in the back. So, I mean, you mentioned getting it quickly, but you can't be in too much of a hurry. Otherwise, that's when small mistakes start to happen.
Yeah, and you know what though? You got to have confidence in those guys that are in that back line. They're defenders. They know their job. They still have a role to play. Do your job, but everybody has to understand one goal here gets this thing back to level, and we're playing.
Absolutely. Well, and honestly, if you're going to have anybody on the back line providing the defense, you want some Brazilians, and you've got them in Felipe Candido and Caio Lobo. So, I mean, really, you talk about the best of the best in the world of soccer. Brazil's at the top of that game, and we have a laundry list of Brazilians who have really put in a lot of great effort, but also got to give a lot of credit to Carlos Noboa Molina. Noboa was struggling early on in that first half. It seemed like he was second-guessing himself a lot, something we're not used to seeing out of him. But once he was finally able to kind of reel it in, he set up that opportunity for Patrick Aludor, who was able to poke it back in. And, you know, you put that speed combination between those two, that's got to be very comforting for Coach Victor Ibarra. As you mentioned, they don't have the equalizer yet, but they're only 1 goal away as opposed to being 2-0 down heading into the second frame. That's got to be a great confidence booster.
Playing through number 11 is good soccer for Emporia. Playing through number 11 is good soccer.
Well, and I mean, if you look at Noboa here throughout the game as we get set for the second half, Noboa's been collapsed upon by that entire back line. So, I mean, if he can at least be the decoy, I mean, I'm going to make the Ted Lasso reference. You know, there's the old Oscars at the ESPY play. You know, I want the ball. Give me the ball. Can I have the ball, please? Noboa's the perfect guy to be that decoy.
Play through him.
Play through him, absolutely. Emporia FC kicking it off here to start the second half in this postseason first round matchup. First taste of the postseason here for Emporia FC. Again, a great crowd out here for the Black Lions in the Lions Den. Tegan Terhune joined on the headset here tonight by Corey Mitchell. Appreciate Corey giving us some of his time here to join us. As clear skies on a Kansas night in June. Can't ask for better weather conditions. Very calm is the wind. As ball gets fired out of bounds. Quick hands there by one of the side judges. As Inner Wichita playing precariously close to the boundary line. Emporia FC doing a great job of keeping them on their tiptoes. Ball goes to midfield. Unguarded is Noboa. Noboa going to try and turn the Jets on. He's got one man to beat. He sends it right side. That's Aludor. Aludor now pokes it up the middle. It went towards, I believe that was Deborah Aldini, but unfortunately it was just a little too strong, too far ahead of him to really do anything with it. Now we go back the other way, and Aludor is going to draw a whistle as the hand came up. I don't think that was intentional, but Aludor, again, a very physical player. I'm surprised more people don't catch a hand or elbow whenever they get too close to him. He's not somebody that likes having someone on his back.
He didn't try. It certainly wasn't intentional, but he certainly did sling that arm around a little bit there.
As first look at Corey's eyes here tonight as the sun starts to set right below the scoreboard here at Emporia High School, the home of Emporia FC. Good steal at midfield here by FC. That's Candido. Sends it up the middle to Musikic, and unfortunately too far ahead. Candido reels it back in just ahead of midfield. Now slide tackling, trying to get it back. That ball just not wanting to stay to the toes of the Black Lions. Another collision. This one is going to go against Miguel Rivera. And Rivera, every time he collides with an Inner Wichita player, you got to think he's having a flashback to earlier in the season when he drew a red card.
only one of the season, you'll remember it.
Absolutely. I, again, talked to him about it earlier this week and just said, is that in the back of your mind at all? And he goes, no, I got to be, he said, I took a lot away from that. And the big thing I took away from it is I have to be more mentally disciplined. And you know what? Great awareness. A lot of guys, they'll sit there and they'll bellyache and say, well, the official just didn't want to give me a chance or this, that, or the other. Miguel, he owned up to it and he just said, listen, it was just mental discipline. I think I'm better now. I learned from it. I just got to make sure I play my game. So far, he's done that.
Nothing gets you more focused than being forced out of a game.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
You want to get back on the field.
Yes, you do. Inner Wichita with the throw in here. Deep into the FC zone, and now Hishad Frites is going to be whistled. Frites putting the hands up saying, I didn't even touch him.
Just outside of the box, too. Pretty lucky right there.
Last thing you want is to give them a free kick opportunity from deep inside your own defensive zone right there.
Boy, they're just outside of the 18.
Yeah.
This is a pretty dangerous spot to be right here.
It's a hard angle for sure, but it's not an impossible one. See if they try to curve it. We've got two players for Emporia up into the front. Believe that is Rivera and Debraldini. Trying to get my old eyes to
setting
focus.
up the wall.
A lot of bodies converging right in front of the goal. And it looked like Lorenzo Orlandi was trying to like move his body down. My gosh. Oh my goodness. That one just squeaked through the bodies. Nascimento tried to collapse on top of it. He was just a half step behind.
He kind of only half kicked it, and it looked like it squirted off a foot and just kind of went right through his hands.
Sometimes the hardest ones to track are the ones that get redirected. And just like that, not even 5 minutes into the second half, and it's once again a 2-goal lead here for Inner Wichita, 3-1. It's a little bit of how the turntables do so, as this was the final score in their regular season matchup in favor of the Black Lions, and now 3-1 is the lead here for Inner Wichita. Noboa moving with some purpose here. Ball sent over to Frites. Frites to Noboa. Noboa takes a swipe at it. Whoa! A red card goes towards Inner Wichita. They'll play with the man down as Noboa got absolutely bashed to the ground. Inexcusable right there. Noboa had a little bit of a collision with the player. He did not like it, and he immediately, after he got knocked down, he jumps up and just full-blown shoves Noboa down. Believe that is Evans Ose Omankwa, and Omankwa is done.
It was very strange because equally they were going after the ball together. Yeah. Ball stayed still, and everybody gets up. The next thing you know, people are on the ground.
Yeah. Well, replaying it back there, what happened, Noboa was going for the ball. He took a swipe at it with his leg, trying to kick it forward. He caught the shin of Omankwa, I believe. Omankwa went down. There was no foul called on either side. I think the referee was saying incidental contact, possibly. Don't know. Don't have it mic'd up. But Omankwa immediately jumps up. Noboa turns, and he just comes forward and absolutely leveled him to the ground. A deserved red right there. And we were talking about mental discipline earlier on in Miguel Rivera. Well, last time these two teams met, Rivera was the recipient of a red card. This time it goes the way of Inner Wichita, who are now leading 3-1, which this is a game of reverses because that was the final score in favor of Emporia FC during the regular season. And looks like the official still talking things over here.
I haven't seen anybody walk off yet, though.
I did.
You did see it? Okay.
Yeah. Monkwa was headed towards the sideline. Believe he is either sitting on the bench. I'm not quite sure where he went to, but yeah, I saw him leaving the field.
This changes a lot of things in this game.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Well, Omankwa, to his credit, prior to that, he was actually being a good disruptor for his team. He was getting a lot of pressure on Emporia FC, disrupting their rhythm and their flow pretty effectively, but right there just lost his cool after what he perceived to be a bookable offense against Noboa, I would imagine. And the Emporia FC crowd wanting to get the action restarted here, as it's been about 3.5 minutes since the offense. And I think what they're doing is they're telling Amakwa he needs to leave the field. That includes the sideline. He has to leave the facilities.
That's correct.
So they're trying to get him out of here.
This changes a lot of things.
Yes.
For Emporia, they really have to put pressure on now. Make Inner Wichita run around this field now. Gas them.
Inner Wichita taking their time. Might be a stall tactic here. But I think you need to remember there is such a thing as stoppage time. As Inner Wichita having a conversation. The official now being very demonstrative here. Free kick will be given to Emporia FC. Rafa Suarez has it back. Coming back onto the pitch after a conversation with Coach Victor Ibarra is Carlos Noboa. We'll see what Rafa tries to do here. Sends it straight towards the goal. It's headed away by Inner Wichita. Ball is free. It's picked up by Musikic. Goes to Aludor. Aludor up to Noboa. Noboa crosses it left side.
Oh!
Bicycle reverse kick. No good. For Almeida, and he's saying he was grabbed by one of the defenders. The official will not give a call there.
It didn't look like much of a pass in front of the box there, in front of the goal, but boy, they turned it into something, and it did look like he got pulled down, but I think with the bicycle kick that he was attempting,
it's hard to call that. It was
hard.
His momentum's already driving him backwards.
That's exactly what happened. I think that's exactly right. And right off the actually, it was off of the upright, so it was just over the goal. Very close.
Almost picture perfect.
No, very close.
Ball goes off the back of the head of Ian Wyndham. Deberaldini sends it towards the goal. It's snatched away by the keeper. Been a very physical, very chippy game here at Emporia FC's home turf. And after the previous matchup between these two, I don't think we really expected much different. Rafa Suarez has it off the header from Frites. He sends it back to Kyle Lobo. Lobo now back towards Suarez. Suarez switches it to Candido. Candido will push it up to Aludor. Aludor now trying to get around the defenders. He's got a man on the right side. It's forced out of bounds. That was Deberaldini coming for it. Deberaldini will have the throw in. Last touch by Inner Wichita. Ball in the box. Emporia with possession, and it just gets across the boundary. Last touch by the Black Lions.
They got to keep. They're doing a good job keeping the pressure up. Keep it in that half of the zone. Keep attacking.
And again, the red card was issued to Evans Ose Amankwa just a little while ago after he very clearly borderline assaulted Noboa Molina. I've always said, hey, you know, that happens in hockey. Let them go. Here in soccer, no, no, no. Over 56 minutes played here. It's Emporia back in possession. Noboa sends it up the way to Aludor. Aludor has to beat the keeper again. He can't do it this time. Aludor, good job. He stops. And we've got an Inner Wichita player still down back on the Emporia side of the field. He's been down for a minute. And the official finally stops play to go check on him.
The strangeness of this is the goalkeeper ended up with the ball. It looked like he might have been outside of the box.
That's what the faithful here at the Lions were saying, but
He was very close. Obviously, we
Yes.
can't tell from here, but he was very close
He
to
was
that line.
tiptoeing on the line,
Yeah.
that is for sure. And it's easy for us to say that with a lot of confidence. Again, we might be a little biased. Just a little. Goal kick coming for Inner Wichita. He'll pick it up. Again, stall tactic here is he's trying to hold it for as long as he can. Goes ahead and sends it towards midfield. Freitas, great header. Goes right back to Inner Wichita. They send it back the other way. Another header there by Emporia FC. Rivera gets it, gets his foot stomped on, but he keeps playing. Wyndham sends it back to Jonathan Garcia. Garcia now back towards the midfield. Alexa Musikic trying to push the issue there. Freitas tried to get a toe on it. Lobo gets beat on his right side by Wyndham. Wyndham now looking to set up a shot here. Crosses it towards the goal. Too much hesitation. Great stop there by Emporia FC, but this time the rebound gets picked up and put in the back.
He was on his bottom and kicked that ball in the back of the net.
Juan Zamora in the 58th minute gets his second of the contest here, and now it's 4-1 Wichita over Emporia FC.
It's very bizarre. Emporia worked so hard to get their one goal, and the goals that Inner Wichita has scored have been pretty easy tonight as far as what they have been, and they found ways to finish.
I go back to my hockey roots, and I say, you know, they are picking up the loose garbage. And, you know, I've said it before, it doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be flashy, it just has to hit the back of the net.
And that's a lot of what's happened tonight.
Yeah.
They found a way to finish.
Emporia has definitely been the more technical team.
Yep.
Wichita's just capitalized on
They've had possession more
freak opportunities. Rivera will collide with Wyndham, and they're going to say the ball was last touched by Emporia FC. Wyndham will get it. As Inner Wichita was not in much of a hurry to begin with, they're even less so now as they have a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of sitting on the ball.
Yeah.
Stalling. Long time for throw-ins.
Garcia will handle the throw-in at his own pace here as we are approaching the 60th minute of play, coming in close on the 30-minute remaining mark.
Emporia is really putting the pressure on.
Oh, yeah. 3 bodies coming towards the keeper. Ball sent towards midfield. Candido coming up from the back line now. Gets it across midfield. Has it on his toes. Can't get it through cleanly.
There you go.
Alexa Musikic. Slide tackle. Gets the ball through. Now trying to get in there to save it in bounds as it was cut off by Inner Wichita. Got to give credit there where it's due. Inner Wichita just doing a good job of boxing out and not giving Emporia the opportunity to get their feet on the ball.
Emporia is fighting, though. You don't see any quitting these guys. You see them, they're still getting after it and trying to win balls, 50-50 balls. I mean, that matters.
Each of these guys speaks a different language, but none of them know the word quit. That is for sure. It's not in their vocabulary.
And there's still 30 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. So there's time.
Hey, I've seen more goals scored in a far less amount of time. Rafa Suarez brings it up to midfield. Goes to Noboa near the left boundary. Noboa gets tripped up, and that will result in a whistle against Jonathan Garcia. And a free kick for Emporia FC. Freitas takes a short kick, goes to Noboa. Noboa now gets it around the defender. He gets it back from Almeida. Sends it over, nice switch to Aludor. Aludor has the 1 goal for Emporia FC tonight. Used the speed and the accuracy, and this time he just can't really get through cleanly. Ball still in play here, kept in by Inner Wichita. And they'll just send it right out of bounds. Nice stop there by head coach Victor Ibarra, who's shown off his quick feet a few times this season.
Those black jerseys are really pushing right now. Man, they're They're really pushing.
Alador gets it back. Ball is taken away by Inter Wichita, but it doesn't really matter. I think it would have been an offside call for Emporia, as Almeida was just a little too far ahead. Rivera, little hesitant, sends it up to Noboa. Noboa,
It's a good ball.
nice ball, right to the left side, goes right off the bean of the keeper from the foot of Musikic. It'll be a corner here for Emporia FC. Rafa Suarez heading over to the far corner to get it in play quickly. 62.5 minutes gone in this contest. Less than 30 minutes remain in Emporia FC season.
It was a really good ball
Yeah.
to that back corner and letting this Emporia speed take over.
Well, that's what you got to do sometimes.
Right,
Just let your speed demons
pushing.
do their thing.
They're just pushing. I mean,
it looks like we got another stoppage here. I think the keeper is still down. As I mentioned, he took it right off his beak.
right in the face.
Yeah, and for those of you that have never played the sport of soccer, I'm no expert in the play itself, having never actually played competitively. But I have taken a soccer ball full speed to the chest and face before. It is not a fun time. I don't care what level you play at. You're not prepared for it. It'll knock you senseless. He appears to be okay, back on his feet. Looks like one of the coaches for Inter Wichita just checking on him real fast, as now we're set to return to action. Suarez, good cross into the box. Header goes away from the goal. Knocked away by Inter Wichita. Miguel Rivera will get the throw in, as the boys in white were the last to touch it. Noboa getting pressured there by Inter Wichita.
Boy, Wichita just keeps sucking back.
As Inter Wichita again forcing it out of bounds. Emporia with the throw in, trying to break through. Miguel Rivera has it just down in front of us. He works it up to Alex Almeida. Almeida now into a foot race. Ball goes out of play. Trying to sort out whose shin it went off of. They're going to say it was touched by Almeida when it ruled out.
I think the ball boy needs to pick up the pace and making sure we get these balls back in play.
Careful. They're working hard there, Corey. We can't start critiquing them, too. Goal kick goes right out of bounds. So another throw in for Emporia. Rafa Suarez sends it to Rivera. Rivera switches right side. Alador, good ball in, but it's just snatched out of the air. And the keeper for Inter Wichita again coming up with the easy save. He hasn't really faced a lot of major concerns here tonight, but he's done a pretty solid job nonetheless. Frites to Suarez. Back to Frites. A lot of pressure being applied here by Inter Wichita. Switches to the opposite side. Ball sent into Almeida, who gets bodied from behind.
Really good ball and a really good idea that he had to try to get that to the outside.
Well, not to mention sending it up there, and Almeida did a great job of getting his body in front of the defender, which generated the contact.
And when they play fast in those bursts, they can really do some things when they play fast like that.
Speed can kill and speed can thrill, and we're certainly hoping the speed of Emporia FC will be thrilling the crowd here in just a moment. Free kick awarded. I think Noboa is going to take this one. He's got Suarez to his right side. This will be from just about 15 yards. Sends it straight towards the goal. It's punched away by the keeper, trying to keep it in the zone is Emporia FC.
Wow.
Noboa dancing around,
Great
being
footwork.
pressured by 3 white jerseys. Freitas comes to pick up the loose ball that goes off the shin of Inner Wichita. Now goes to Rivera. Sorry, that's Lobo. Lobo tried to send
Handball.
it into the box. They're calling for a handball violation. Is Inner Wichita? They're not going to get it. Lobo with it now. Switches right side to Aludor, but it's taken away by Wichita. Right back to Emporia. Long ball sent in, and it's just handled by the keeper. That was a high-angle ball. If it had been maybe a few inches higher and kept that speed and velocity before slowing down, probably could have snuck in.
It was actually a pretty good idea right there in that moment with the way that you see all those white jerseys back there.
Again, I go back to my hockey roots, and one of the things my coach used to always tell me is, hey, if you get a chance, get right in front of that net, park your butt right there, and don't let them see what's coming. Urgency setting in here for Emporia FC as they trail by 3, 4-1.
Oh, good
ball
ball.
Sent in.
Good
Great
ball.
opportunity here, and it's immediately sent back the other way by the keeper. Noboa still down on the main boundary right in front of us after he took a little bit of a collision. Now an opportunity for Inner Wichita. Freitas, great job. Sends it out.
Inner Wichita was kind of begging right there.
Yeah.
He got the ball. I mean, he kicked the ball.
Nascimento was picking it up, possibly thinking goal kick was coming, but instead it'll be a corner here for Inner Wichita. And last free kick opportunity that Inner Wichita had, they scored on it off of a rebound. Bernardo Dickman. And Kevin DeAndretti. 2 new faces to the Emporia FC roster. They were brought in here specifically for the postseason. Some interesting information on these two. So both individuals are alumni now of Shawnee Mission West, as they just recently graduated. Got to meet them earlier this week. They were standouts there at Shawnee Mission West, as Coach Victor Ibarra has told me, giving me some information on them a little bit earlier here today.
Young, fresh legs.
Yes, sir. Kevin and Bernardo both are set to play at Mid-American Nazarene University in the fall. They were all state, all metro, all league players there for Shawnee Mission West.
Staying close to home to play their college ball.
Absolutely. Hey, get the opportunity to keep it close to the front door. Why not do it? Ball sent up the way. Rafa Suarez was trying to reel it in. Now it's sent back towards the goal. He'll just go ahead and skyrocket that one away. High angle ball goes up, and now a little bit of bouncing around. Freitas going for a header at the same time as an Inner Wichita player there. Still trying to get the number or the name associated with the 15 number. He came in after Evans Ose Omankwa was sent off with the red card earlier in this matchup. Over 70 minutes played now thus far. We had to take a minute to tie our shoes for Jonathan Garcia. Again,
tick, tick, tick.
Yeah, just a stall tactic there. But, hey, that is the advantage. When you're up by a sizable lead late in the game, you can take as much time as you want. No one's going to stop you. Now a whistle against Emporia FC. Going down was Juan Zamora, who has 2 goals in the contest. The first one in the 24th minute of play, the second in the 58th minute.
I'd sure like to see Emporia kind of get the ball back a little bit more than they have, having a one-man advantage, and I'd like to see them pushing a little bit. When they've done it, good things happen. I've said it 20 times tonight, but it happens for them.
Ball squeaks past the bodies. Nascimento was looking to go for it, and he decides to back off as last touched by Bernardo Dickman, again making his Emporia FC debut here tonight, the Shawnee Mission West product. He was joined out there by Kevin DeAndrade, also Shawnee Mission West alumnus.
He's a big kid. I'd like to see how physical he is back there on that D.
Yeah. Big body. I don't have his height and weight, but I believe he told me the other night he was 6'5".
He looks it.
Oh, yeah. He's every inch of it. Good save there by Nascimento. Ball sent back the other way here by Inter Wichita in the form. Believe that was Gail Gonzalez. Freitas trying to lead it up the way. Suarez frustrated that it got cut off. He's got to stay focused here. Kyle Lobo getting in on the action. That back line looking a little thin here for Emporia FC. Now on the right wing, Jonathan Garcia crosses it, switches left side. Good defense here to break it up for Emporia FC, and then coming out of nowhere, Inter Wichita back in, and Nascimento. Nascimento came out to play the ball and just got beat.
I mean, guy in the middle passed it across, and there it was.
Goal number 5 here for Inter Wichita in the 72nd minute of play. Believe that one will also be credited to Juan Zamora, which would be his 3rd. He's got the hat trick. And time slowly ticking down in this historic season for Emporia FC.
I'm very surprised at how Emporia's played in the second half and the way that they've looked. They've kind of been disconnected, and the opportunities. Even they have man advantage, and you can't tell right now. You know, it's very strange.
It's a fair point. Michael Martinez coming out for Emporia FC, also making his debut here tonight. Haven't seen Martinez as of yet here suit up.
Oh, good ball.
Emporia, great ball into the zone, trying to track it down as Musikic. Musikic manages to keep it in on the boundary. Inter Wichita swarming all over it. Noboa. Looks like a little bit of a frustration foul there.
Yeah, I think there was a little intent behind that one.
Yeah.
I think you're right about the frustration.
Yes,
Tegan.
I think
really
the
do.
official's going to let it go, just award the free kick. We've got a man down over near the far corner on the Inter Wichita side, and well, he's going to take all the time he needs to recover. 74.5 minutes gone.
Yeah, there was no reason to book him on that one, but it
No.
was certainly a frustration.
Yeah, but the other thing, too, is you can't let that frustration mount because the next time I don't think he's going to get as lucky. Down 5-1, but the pride of fans here still very encouraging for their Black Lions. 15 minutes remain in regulation. Got to think there's going to be some added time as we've had some significant stoppages in this second half.
Yeah, there could be maybe up to 5 minutes extra time in this thing.
It's very possible. Another stoppage here as an Emporia FC player came over the back of an Inter Wichita striker. And Inter Wichita, I think, starting to get pretty confident here as the ball comes free. Getting across midfield is Lobo, and Lobo gets tripped up. No whistle or any call from the official.
It's very surprising on
Yeah.
that on wide open ground. The defender never touched the ball. He looked a little late on it.
Yeah, that's about as clear of an offense as you can get, but apparently not. 76 minutes now played. 14 minutes remain in regulation. Almeida has a great break on the ball, and the keeper going to go ahead and just smother that one once again. And Almeida is very quick, but that ball has just been a little too quick for him to handle. Ball
But he was looking to capitalize on his speed there and get around a defender. I mean, it's a good move. It didn't work out, but still the right play.
Absolutely. Juan Zamora was going for another opportunity. He gets tripped up, and this time it will result in a whistle against Emporia FC and a free kick opportunity here for Inter Wichita.
And this is in that dangerous zone again.
They have capitalized on it more than once. Gail Gonzalez will come in to handle the free kick. He's got a wall of 3 black lines in front of him. And we've got an inner Wichita player down at midfield, Noboa, offering his hand to help him up. And we're going to get a call to the trainer.
I'll tell you what, it almost feels like Inner Wichita has practiced this nursing the clock game.
You said it, not me. Yeah, might be an injury, might be a stall tactic, but again, when you're up 5-1 late into the frame, that's your prerogative. We've crossed over the 77.5-minute mark of play, and again, Emporia FC down big, 5-1 thus far. 3 goals scored by Juan Zamora, the captain for Inner Wichita. He scored in the 24th, 58th, and 72nd minutes of play. Also adding to the tally was Luis Hermida, who had a goal in the 37th minute. 1 goal that was scored. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the number on that one, but it's been a scoring frenzy for the visitors from Wichita. Emporia FC has really fought hard to create chances and opportunities. Unfortunately, they just haven't been able to really finish on them.
And we're seeing 2 different halves. I mean, the first half was a well-played first half, and they're really disconnected right now.
I think it might be the frustration.
It very well could be. That early goal really might have broke them down a little bit.
Gonzalez lines up. Fires it, goes right off the wall of black jerseys. Noboa trying to field the loose ball. Lobo was trying to get it past the defender. It went straight up in the air and back down onto the feet of Inner Wichita. Good header away there by Candido. Keeps it away from the goal. Noboa now skips it right side to Rivera. Rivera going to Musikic. Musikic working it up the boundary line. There's Rafa Suarez. Suarez, fancy footwork, getting around. Nice ball in there for Emporia FC, but it's headed away by Inner Wichita. Back at midfield. Inner Wichita with possession again. A little collision there between Lobo and an Inner Wichita forward. Rivera up the way. Goes to Almeida. Almeida looked like he got held. I think the official saw it too, as Almeida was able to reset and get a free kick. Wasn't much opportunity there, but nonetheless, Suarez has it now on the far boundary across the way as we approach the 80th minute of play. Over 79.5 gone so far, and if Emporia FC is going to mount a monumental comeback, they have to do it now.
They need to be pushing it, that's right.
So far they are. They are really putting on the intensity here.
6 white jerseys along that box right now, so they're really packing it in on the D side.
Noboa tried to switch it to the right side, and it gets forced out of play off of just an errant, looked like, header, and Inner Wichita will regain possession as we have crossed the 80th minute mark. 10 remaining in regulation. We'll wait to see what the stoppage time will be. You got to think we're probably going to have a significant amount. Another great ball!
There it is!
Goal for Emporia FC, and they're wasting no time. Oh, we got a man down. I believe that's going to be the keeper for Inner Wichita, as he took a shot trying to make that stop.
You know, it was a little chip over, and the goalie was coming out, and Emporia sent a player in it. They kind of had a little collision. The ball squirted out.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's been physical. You want to win, but you don't want anyone to get hurt. That is for sure. Certainly hope he will be okay. Waiting to see who had the goal there for Emporia FC. But again, the keeper for Inner Wichita, who has been very good in goal here tonight, he got caught pretty solid. I think that might have been Kyle Lobo that was coming in to try and make a play, but I'm pretty sure he caught a shin or a knee to the face. And speaking from experience, that's just not a fun way to spend a Wednesday night. Again, we're awaiting word here. The trainer's out there, and keeper has not moved very much. And, we were talking about stall tactics earlier, but let me just be very clear. This is definitely not part of that plan because
Absolutely not.
he took one heck of a shot.
Oh, I see a lot of movement now.
That's
so.
good to see.
Yep.
Again, it's competitive. You want to win. They're the opposition, but you don't want anybody hurt. That's just the reality of it. It's been a very physical game here thus far. It looks like he's starting to stir a little bit, but you got to wonder if they're going to have to send in a replacement here because, again, it looked like the collision caught him up high. And, again, speaking from experience, head injuries, no matter what what it may be, you don't want to play around with those. So certainly hope he'll be all right, but he's still down there on the field. Again, if you're just tuning in here, Emporia FC has managed to cut the lead of Inner Wichita down from 4-3 as they were trailing 5-1 for a good portion of this second half off of another goal by Juan Zamora, who has the hat trick on the night. Goals in the 24th, 58th, and 72nd minutes of play.
He hasn't touched the ball a lot tonight, but he's done a lot of damage when he has,
Well, talking with Coach Ibarra, he had mentioned that, this is the kind of guy they have to limit, and unfortunately they just haven't been able to. He doesn't have to be the flashiest player out there. He just has to get it to go in, and he's done that in spades.
He's definitely been a closer tonight. He's
Yes,
found
he
a way
has.
to find the back of that net.
Again, we are still waiting the resumption of action here off the goal from Emporia FC just a few moments ago. As Emporia was pushing into the box there for Inner Wichita, there was a significant collision between the keeper and I believe that might have been Kyle Lobo, but I couldn't quite read the jersey number in the fray of action. But the keeper, I believe, caught either a shin, a foot, or a knee right up into the head. It looked like. But yeah, certainly hoping he will be okay.
He is sitting upright.
That is a good sign. So again, Tegan Trahoon joined on the headset here this evening by Corey Mitchell, who was kind enough to lend his expertise to us for this postseason matchup. Again, the very first postseason game of the Emporia FC Black Lions history. And, well,
pretty exciting night for Emporia. To be that first, especially last year, 1-win season this year. I mean, that's a big turnaround.
6 wins on the season.
That's right. It's a big turnaround. A lot of things, a lot of positive things happen around it.
Yeah. But here's the thing. We're talking as though it's over, but, the time is ticking away. However, again, stoppage time, a real thing, as the keeper finally up and moving, but he's getting some assistance, and I think his night will be done here.
He is walking off, though.
That is good to see.
He looks very uncomfortable, but he is walking.
I just keep referring to him as the keeper. I do believe that is Guilherme Borges, though I haven't been able to see a jersey number throughout the matchup. But yeah, I believe that is Borges who went out. Now replacement keeper coming in. We'll try and get the details on him here in a moment. As I was looking at the roster for Inner Wichita earlier this week, and boy, oh boy, they had a lot of keepers. They had 3 on their squad from what I could see. As we are set to get back to action here. Again, Emporia FC, look at that line right there at midfield. You've got 5 bodies.
They're going for it. They're pushing.
They're looking like a bunch of wide receivers going out to field a pass right
An
there.
An onside kick.
Yeah. Alex Almeida has it now. He's being pressured, getting pushed off the ball. He gets body to the floor. No foul will be called. Now Noboa, good switch, right side. In comes Aludor. Aludor trying to be fancy with it, get around the defender. Aludor has one of the 2 goals here for Emporia FC. We're checking in with Gabe Diaz-Serrano. He said the previous goal may have been scored by Rafa Suarez, but there was a lot happening in that fray, so we're not sure. Good cross in, good ball.
Look at this.
Goal! Emporia FC cuts the lead to 2. Miguel Rivera brings it up. There's hope.
There was nothing, and all of a sudden there was something.
Scored by Kevin DeAndrade, the Shawnee Mission West standout in his first game.
That's right, just came into the game.
In the 86th minute, there is life in the Lions' Den.
We need lots of stoppage time here.
Yep, Inner Wichita. Now desperately trying to play keep away here. Almeida, good move around, and he gets tangled up with Zamora. And now a free kick here to Inner Wichita. 87 minutes, 16 seconds played thus far. Again, Corey made a great point just a moment ago. Probably a lot of stoppage time ahead. We've had some significant stops in this ball game.
We could be looking at somewhere between 7 minutes or more.
That's true. And we've already seen what Emporia FC can do in the span of about 30 seconds. Noboa.
Pushing again.
Pushing up the middle. Slide tackle, takes him out at the legs. No foul called. Referee saying it was all ball. Speaking of the ball, it goes out of play. Emporia believed it was last touched by Inner Wichita. The official disagreed, said it was last touched by the Black Lions. So it'll be a throw-in here for the visitors from Wichita, who are looking to stave off this comeback attempt from Emporia FC. They've scored 2 goals in the span of 30 seconds, not barring the stoppage that we saw in between them. Skyrocket kick goes out of play here. Goal kick for Emporia FC. Ball boy gets it in there to Luan Nascimento. See what Nascimento decides to do. Is he going to go short? Is he going to go long? He'll keep it short. Emporia FC now starting to push back up from their own zone. 88 minutes, 26 seconds
number 11's
played.
hands right there. Let him go with it.
The man we say no better than in Carlos Noboa. Ball's worked up right side now on the boundary to Suarez. Suarez manages to fend off a couple of defense attempts. Noboa has an opportunity. He switches left side to Almeida. Almeida goes up top. Another shot on goal. This one's just wide to the right. Goal kick going to Inner Wichita. Coming up on the 89th minute of play here. Emporia trailing now 5-3. They were trailing by as many as 4. It was 5-1 for the longest time. They managed to capitalize on 2 very aggressive offensive opportunities. Put it in the back of the net. Here comes the goal kick, and that one is going to send it clear to the opposite side. Good header there by Emporia, and a whistle against Inner Wichita, and that's been the case all night.
Yeah.
Those players have been coming up over the back on the headers pretty frequently, and they finally get called for it, but it might be a little too late. Emporia FC now again with a lot of ferocity, pushing their way up, very physical right now. A lot of bodies clanging around there on the Wichita side. Noboa trying to switch it to Almeida. Almeida heads it away. It's off the toe of Suarez, and we get a whistle as a Inner Wichita player is down. I'm not sure if the whistle was for offsides or if they're calling a foul on Emporia.
I think it was a foul.
Yeah, I think you were correct. Goal kick coming for Inner Wichita as we have hit 90 minutes. Waiting to see what the call will be on stoppage time. You got to imagine it's not going to be a short time. Inner Wichita, not in any hurry. They don't need to be. They've got a 2-goal lead. Michael Martinez gets tripped up. We get a whistle here in favor of the Black Lions. Setting for the short kick there is Bernardo Dickman. Miguel Rivera. Goes right side. Now on the foot of Noboa. Noboa back to the right side. Goes to Rafa Suarez. Suarez. Good ball in. Almeida uncovered, but it just goes a little too far off his foot. Now he's got to beat another man. He gets tripped up. No foul called. That one was dangerously close to the boundary, and that one fired right at one of our ball boys here. Immediately back into play. Here we go. Michael Martinez sends it in. Goes to Miguel Rivera. Rivera, good ball into the box. Goes off the body of a Wichita defender, and now he's down, grasping at his leg.
Come on.
Not a popular call for the Emporia faithful.
Kind of felt like he called that just because he saw the guy go down.
Yeah. Can't disagree with you there. And now more time ticking off the clock.
Yeah, 2 minutes of stoppage time's already gone.
Yeah. Heard one of our faithful say, "It's football." Let's go. I've heard that said many a times. Not at this kind of football match, but still, yeah. Yeah, and if you're an Emporia FC supporter, this is just frustrating beyond belief. As time is just ticking away, your team has momentum.
You really did, boy. Those 2 quick goals kind of made it fun.
It did. Made it a contest, that's for sure. Line drive ball sent across midfield, headed away by Emporia. Handball violation not called against Inner Wichita. Ball sent down the way. Noboa gets it off his foot, and it's sent back the opposite direction. We are over 93 minutes played thus far. Luan Nascimento comes out of goal to field that one. Nobody really pushing forward for Inner Wichita. They're dropping everybody back. They are trying to create a wall for Emporia to get through, and it's working thus far as Emporia is struggling to get it past midfield and into a scoring position. Miguel Rivera goes to Noboa on the near boundary. Noboa has the ball taken away. It's last touched by Inner Wichita. Noboa will have the throw in. 93.5 minutes played now thus far. Still waiting to hear what the stoppage time will be. Michael Martinez switches it right side to Dickman. Dickman.
Boy, they're bringing everybody up right now.
Yep.
Emporia is.
A lot of black jerseys amongst the sea of white there. Noboa was trying to send it in towards the box. It goes back towards Miguel Rivera. Rivera, long shot towards the other way, putting a foot on it. There's Lobo. It's no good, but still with an opportunity. Here's Emporia FC.
I love that ball right there, that
Martinez.
high ball to the back post.
Ball in, and it's out of bounds.
I like that ball with Dickman down there in that big 6'5" frame.
Yeah.
Get it up high and let him see what he can do.
He towers amongst the other players. Let him use the size.
That's right. It was great. It was a good idea. Creative.
Approaching 94.5 minutes gone. A goal kick here for Inner Wichita. And the clock ticking out here on the Emporia FC season. A historic season it has been. Do not want it to end here. 5-3 still the lead for Inner Wichita. And we're going to get a foul called against Inner Wichita. Again, getting way too close for comfort here. They've been pressuring very hard. Dickman now has it there on the back line.
Oh, they're saying he double touched.
Double touch, yep. Miguel Rivera now going to lead the way up here for Emporia FC. Goes to Noboa. Noboa now goes left side to Almeida. Almeida kicks it off a shin of a Inner Wichita defender. Throw in here from Noboa. Goes to Lobo. Back to Noboa now. Noboa switches it right side to Rivera. Rivera. Good ball in, but it's headed away by Wichita. Noboa gets it back. Sorry, that's Rivera gets it back, and it goes towards the FC bench. Rivera trying to keep it in play. It's just winding around that boundary. Could say slow crawl tiptoe on there. Ball sent in again towards the Inner Wichita goal, and Almeida had a good track of it. Unfortunately, it was just moving too quickly. He goes into Noboa. Noboa goes back to Almeida. Right there on the corner. No, Almeida now trying to generate an opportunity. It goes out of play yet again. We have a corner opportunity. He'll go short kick to Noboa. Noboa fires it into the box. Trying to track it down is Music Kick. Music Kick can't get there in time before Inner Wichita clears it out.
6 minutes of stoppage time already gone. Oh, finish!
Yet another great opportunity for Emporia.
Off
just
the crossbar.
Stymied the crossbar this time, denying the Black Lions.
Off the crossbar. Good look, though.
It was a great look.
Yeah, great ball. Cross, header. Look good.
We've played 96.5 minutes. Again, have not heard what the exact stoppage time will be, but got to imagine we're coming up close on it. The official, though, I think going to let them play so long as they can generate this offensive momentum. Lobo try to get it through the midfield. We got a player down, but they're not going to stop play. Michael Martinez, left side to Almeida. Almeida puts it into play. No good as it's headed away by Inter Wichita. Michael Martinez recovers. Back towards midfield to Kyle Lobo. Lobo, don't have time to hesitate. You got to get moving here. To Rivera. Rivera. Nice fake out there on the Inter Wichita defender. He takes a shot towards goal. It goes off the head of a defender. Tracking it down is Almeida. Almeida will pick it up. Gotta hustle, gotta hustle. No time to waste. Throws it in to Noboa, who's heavily guarded. And it'll be cleared out yet again by Inter Wichita. Luan Nascimento coming very far out of goal near midfield.
Calling for it.
Another ball sent there. Zamora and Rivera now battling for it. Zamora was holding Rivera. Not the first time that's happened tonight, as another opportunity sent in towards the goal, and it's ripped down by the keeper. And we got a little pushing and shoving there inside the box. And that's going to do it. The official blows the final whistle, and this historic season for Emporia FC comes to an end here in the Lions Den. We will try and get a word with head coach Victor Ibarra, maybe a couple of players here to talk us through this season once everything kind of winds down here. But that being said, for Corey Mitchell, I'm Tegan Terhune. We do appreciate you tuning in to this historic season of Emporia FC soccer. We'll be back with our post-game coverage, thoughts, and analysis here in just a little bit on the Emporia FC YouTube channel. Back inside the Lions Den here at Emporia High School, Tegan Terhune, and well, an unfortunate ending to what was a historic season here for Emporia FC as they fall to Inner Wichita 5-3. Now, it is worth noting that Emporia FC never lost their fight, especially later in the game, as they did trail the second half for most of it 5-1. They managed to come back with two late goals there in the 86th minute, and just a little while ahead of that. Sorry, I didn't have the official numbers, but the goals in the second half going to Kevin DeAndrade, the forward who made his debut for Emporia FC here tonight, and also Rafa Suarez. So both of them definitely making a good effort at a comeback here, as Emporia FC did look a little out of sorts at times in that second half. We'll get some more thoughts, hopefully, from head coach Victor Ibarra on that particular endeavor. But, yeah, disappointing ending to what's been an amazing season. But that's the important thing, is it has been an amazing season for Emporia FC. They went from a one-win season last year to 6 wins on the season and rode a 6-game winning streak, a 6-game unbeaten streak here into the postseason. As again, we are awaiting a word with head coach Victor Ibarra as his team falls 5-3, and fortunately they had a valiant comeback effort. They just weren't able to put it away here tonight. 3 goals on the night for Emporia FC. The first one coming in the late minutes of the first half. In fact, in stoppage time, in the 46th minute, the native of Turks and Caicos, Patrick Aludor, managed to draw his team within a 1-goal differential, trailing 2-1 heading into the second half. But unfortunately from there, Inner Wichita would just kind of put it on, as a hat trick tonight for Juan Zamora of Wichita. Also adding a goal was Luis Hermida. We didn't get the fourth goal recorded. We're not given that. And also Inner Wichita did have a red card issued against Evans Osai Amankwa. So Emporia FC was playing one man up throughout the entirety of the second half, but unfortunately just could not seem to punch home some of the great opportunities that they had. So definitely a disappointing ending to what has been such a promising season, but a lot of hope for the future. You know, a lot of these players, I was hearing from Coach Victor Ibarra earlier as he was addressing the team, a lot of these guys who made returns here to Emporia this season definitely grew leaps and bounds, have definitely improved as players. And if that's the kind of improvement that you see in the span of a year, I can't wait to see what next year is going to bring here for the Black Lions, as Coach Ibarra slowly making his way up here to the top of the Lions Den. We'll try and get him on the headset and get his thoughts on the matchup. Again, the final score 5-3 in favor of Inner Wichita FC. Ends the postseason hopes here for Emporia FC, but again, first postseason appearance here for Emporia FC this season off the back of a 6-game unbeaten streak. Really toppled some of the giants of the conference here in this league, as we are, again, still awaiting head coach Victor Ibarra, looking to get his thoughts not just on tonight's game, but really on this season as a whole, and hopefully look forward to the future here. As we'll go ahead and take a quick break. We'll come right back, have Coach Ibarra on the headset. You're watching Emporia FC Soccer here on the Emporia FC YouTube channel. We are back here atop the Lions Den as Emporia FC again falls 5-3 to Inner Wichita FC. Now joined by head coach Victor Ibarra. And well, Coach, I caught some of the cliff notes there of your speech to the team, and you kind of pointed out in that first half, it seemed like it was kind of back and forth a little bit here and there. You guys were able to get that late goal from Patrick Aludor. Second half, it kind of seemed like the guys were a little out of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
My color analyst, Corey Mitchell, had mentioned it just seemed like there wasn't a lot of synchronicity.
Correct.
Was it a sense of desperation that was seeking in a little early?
It's called inexperience.
Fair enough.
Um, so in the first half, um, you could see the pressure on the boys, and I should have done a better job of taking some of that pressure off because sometimes people forget you have 18, 19, 20-year-olds in there.
Sure.
And even though they're amazing athletes, amazing players, which they showcase all season long,
Agreed.
um, when the playoffs comes, it's time when you perform, and the experience really showcased at that point. I thought I did a good enough job. Clearly, it wasn't good. So that a lot of that is my fault. But the reality is that when they scored, it was almost like at the best time for them and at the worst time for us
Yeah.
because you could see the weight
Yep.
of like, hey, we're doing well, we're gonna get there, uh, and then all of a sudden, like, boom, goal,
Yeah.
and you could really see the
Well, to your point, though, Coach, I don't mean to cut you off, but to your point, not only was it a goal, but they were dirty goals. I mean, they were not they weren't very flashy, and that's what I mean by that. Not anything nefarious, just they were very clumsy, kind of just bad luck, wrong position, wrong time goals. Whereas your team was putting in very well developed set pieces. Again, as Corey had mentioned here on the night, they just couldn't seem to squeak them through and finish it. So do you think that adds to that weight of pressure?
correct. That's the frustration behind it. Is like it wasn't build up. It wasn't like they were controlling. Like they had some possession in the back end. We call it empty possession,
Yeah.
but it was really like just mistakes. Like Luan has had an amazing season, and we've won games because of him.
Yes.
And so like you really don't expect him to get scored on from that far away on a good shot, but like Luan makes those kind of saves routinely.
That was a midfield shot.
Yeah,
I kind of argued that I felt like maybe he just mistimed the speed of it because usually those balls start to slow down once they get to the keeper.
correct. He was out of position. And I don't know if the injury had to do with it. He just usually he doesn't make those kind of mistakes.
Sure.
Our center back duo has been one of the best all season long, and they struggled today.
Yeah.
The ball was bouncing, the ball was not bouncing their way. So, like I mentioned, it's just a little bit of inexperience. Like I told them before the game started, hey, we don't always play the best, but we got to be able to support one another.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to pick up the slack.
Sure.
And I thought we really struggled today being able to pick up that slack. So the inexperience definitely hurt us in the first half, and then the second half, another error, and then you can again see that weight and people starting to fall apart. And then I have to make subs to like try to calm everything down. But the reality, there's no timeouts
Yeah.
in soccer. You just have to go with the flow,
Yeah.
and you got to make sure that you lean on the players to be able to play.
Coach, a lot of stoppage there in that second half.
Yeah.
I think you know the question I'm going to get to here in a minute, but a very valiant comeback effort by your team. 2 goals there in the second half. The first from Rafa Suarez that did lead to a significant amount of stoppage after a collision with the goalkeeper there for Inter Wichita. He had to be walked off the field afterwards. I
Yeah.
mean, we had said, there's stall tactics and then there's injuries, and that looked like a real injury. I mean, he got hit hard. Certainly hope he'll be okay. But then, take out the stoppage time there, really in between shots on goal, it was probably 30 seconds. You guys scored 2 back-to-back goals. Looked like you guys were in a rhythm. You're finally kind of getting things going. We get to stoppage time. It was about 8 minutes of stoppage time. Some fans not too pleased with the officials on that end. That's a hard job. I'm not here to critique it, but did you feel as though there should have been more stoppage time added?
Uh, th- like honestly, we play this team. We play this team 10 times. We probably beat them 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the perfect storm.
Sure.
The stoppage time made again the game feel choppy and sloppy, like you mentioned, and so then you take away time from being on the field and the ball moving, and then all of a sudden you take our rhythm away, and we're not a very good direct team where we're setting up set pieces, we're trying to get the ball in the box, even though we're competent. Doesn't That's not our style. We're trying to build, we're trying to execute, and having that kind of game where it just becomes sloppy, it just hurts us bad. In terms of stoppage time, I think there was about 20, 25 minutes from what I took, and the refs never account for that.
But again, you
So
mentioned down there that you can't point fingers and say this and that. So while we can debate the stoppage time, which I think we were debating up here pretty heavily, safe to say if you don't perform, you don't win.
exactly, and that's why I told the guys is like we gotta be able to take it on the chin.
Sure.
It's like we didn't perform, we didn't play well, is like you got to learn how to lose. Like you have to
Yeah.
experience this. Like everybody expects, like you have your first year, you win one game. You play a lot, but you don't get results. Second year, you play well, you get results, and you want to win right away. And the case is like no, like you have to see the vision,
Yeah.
then you have to execute that vision.
Well, Coach, you're a guy that looks on the bright side of things, and I like to do that myself. And I think that the bright side here is, yeah, you get knocked out of the playoffs here in the first round against a team that you probably feel like you should have beaten, if not dominated, but you made the playoffs. I
Correct.
mean, you go from being one of the worst teams in the league, respectfully,
No, 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 it's
just
true. In
just
results,
record.
yes, absolutely.
Just record speaking, I would not say that in regards to talent by any mean, but you go from being one of the worst teams in the league just a year ago to being one of the top four teams in your conference or your division, and you make a postseason appearance. I mean, you got to be very happy about where your team's headed.
Oh, absolutely. I obviously, you want them to perform in the bright lights when there's a lot of people watching you. Um, but like I told them, it's like it's experience. You got to
Yeah.
gain the experience. You got to take. You got to take it. You got to keep taking a step forward. I'm with you. I see all the pros to what we've done this year. Obviously, I'm not happy with the result, but I tell the guys, it's like there's only one national champ,
True.
and everybody thinks they're gonna win nationals, but that's just not the case. I tell that to my high schoolers. I tell that to my younger ones. It's like, hey, there's only one champion. It's like you have to go through everybody in order to get there. So, like I said, first year experience, second year see the vision, third year
Mhm.
execute that vision. So I'm expecting a big year next year, and with this experience gained, I expect the guys to be a lot better and be able to perform in the playoffs.
Well, you'll have a hard choice on who to bring back for next year because a lot of players really stepped up, but that's a conversation for another day. It's getting late. I know you probably want to go and talk with a few more of the guys, and they're going to be making their way off into their respective places in the world here in the next few
Right.
weeks, so want to let them get some rest too. But before you go, just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure
Thank
getting
you,
to
man.
become a part of the Emporia FC family over this last year. I look forward to next year. I can't wait to see where we go from here, but thank you for the opportunity. I hope I've lived up to, if not hopefully exceeded your expectations, and we can only go up from here, not just in the on the field, but also up here on the production side. And again, thank you for trusting me, and also Javen with your vision and allowing us to just kind of do our thing. A lot of people can get very controlling over those kinds of things. You gave us a vision that you wanted at the start, and you trusted us to do it. So thank you for letting us do our thing and just trusting that we knew what we were doing. And we hope that we've done you and your players justice.
100%. I want to thank everybody that's been a part of this. I am so proud of our marketing, the way we uh, create the story,
Yeah.
and like how people can follow the journey, and like the guys always go and back and watch the broadcasts, and Javen, who's behind the scenes, doesn't get enough credit. You yourself, like creating the narrative to like take exciting and like
Thank you.
feel like you belong. The guys can't say enough about you guys, and then Adrian, Michaela, Teresa, like everybody helping out and just making like a really how could I say, a fantasy of like what potentially what you wish to for it to be, make it a reality.
Absolutely.
We had a packed house today, and I wish we would have performed better. That's the only regret I have
Sure.
all year. But I do hope that people can go back and see the photos,
Yeah.
see the videos, so they
Go
can
back and
truly
watch. Yeah.
see everything that we're talking about
Absolutely.
that I'm very proud of. And I'm not gonna sit here and just like beat people over the head to like, oh, we're so much better. No, it's proof.
Yeah.
And you guys were absolutely had 110%
Thank
to
you.
do with that, and so we appreciate you guys.
Well, I appreciate you. And with that being said, want to say thank you to all of you for tuning in here throughout the season for Emporia FC Soccer. Of course, to Javen Arndt, our technical producer, who has helped us bring you the productions here. Glad to have had him back here tonight after a lengthy vacation. Don't ever do that again. Uh, that was quite nerve wracking. But also to Yahaira Ibarra, the
Yes,
boss lady here, of course, Gabe Diaz Serrano, Ashley Rios, everybody involved here at Emporia FC. We thank you so much for all that you do. We thank you all so much for tuning in. We can't wait to talk to you again next year in 2026. With that being said, for the final time this season, I am the voice of Emporia FC Soccer, Tegan Terhune, saying so long and vamos Leones right here on the Emporia FC